It's my proud privilege sharing dice in presence of great personalities present over here. So, on behalf of City University, I extend a warm welcome to all the distinguished guests, our speakers for the session, Dr. Kala Bhaskar, Director, Center of Cyber Forensic and Information Security, University of Madras, Mr. Prem Oja, CEO, NetPlus Broadband Service, Mr. Vishal Mehta, Mr. Mahesh Balakrishnan, Information Security Consultant, Chennai. I do feel honored extending welcome to the real driving force, none other than Mr. Manveer Singh, Managing Director, City University. Next, I extend my warm welcome to the versatile and most energetic Dr. Harsh Sadawati, Vice Chancellor, City University. Dr. Jagtar Dhiban, Registrar, City University, Dr. Bakshi, Dean Academics, Mr. SSS Garewal, Director, Student Affairs, and all other respected guests of the day. Before the event of the day starts, respected guests, I would like to give a brief introduction of the event Syberthon. Cybercrime can be defined widely, as it includes any crime conducted via internet, network, or digital device, capturing digital evidence such as that found on cellular phone, GPS devices, computer tablets, network servers, is crucial to the investigating and solving cybercrimes. Strong cybercrime investigative capabilities are also critical for solving additional crime. Cybertricks, a cyber wellness center, is an initiative of City University to create training, awareness, research, and development, cyber intelligence, and cyber security. We are institutional member of National Cyber Security and Security Standards (NCSSS). City University in future will be calling experts, visiting faculty for talks on cyber security. We are in process of starting 3-month certificate course and 1-year diploma courses in cyber forensic. We are also working on the collaboration with police and other departments. Cybertricks has been started with a great vision to safeguard nation from current threats in cyberspace so that we can contribute our part. Cyberthon is the first event under the umbrella of Cybertrick Wellness Center, Cybertricks. Cyberthon is aimed at providing a platform to discuss, showcase, educate, understand, and spread awareness on the latest trends in the information cyber and high-tech crimes. The goal of 30 hours non-stop Cyberthon is dedicated to free open software in the field of cybersecurity. The aim is to gather various developer groups to collaborate on challenging programming problems in the field of cybersecurity, from information sharing, network system forensic. The objective of Hackathon is also to improve the interoperability and exchange between the different security tools. So, dear all, before the event starts, very humbly and reverently, I could call upon these dignitaries to kindly come on the stage to perform a very pious and auspicious ceremony, the lamp lighting. Please. Respected VC sir, may I have your presence on the dais, please, for sharing your words with us, please, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to everyone present over here. It is my privilege and honor to welcome you all at City University Ludhiana campus. Honorable Chief Guest, he is on the way, Mr. Nani Hal Singh, IPS. Our speakers, Dr. Kala Bhaskar, Director Center for Cyber Forensics and Information Security, University of Madras. Mr. Mahesh Balakrishnan, Information Security Consultant, Chennai. Mr. Prem Ojha, CEO, NetPlus Broad Services. Mr. Anurag Dubey, Cyber Security Consultant. Mr. Vishal Mehta from NetPlus. Mr. Harpreet Khattar, CEO, Harsh Technologies. I welcome you all to City University campus. I extend a hearty welcome to the distinguished guests, our own young and dynamic Managing Director, Mr. Manbir Singh, worthy Registrar Sir, Deans, participants, faculty, Team City University, and a special thanks, Team Syberthon. So big round of applause. So what is Syberthon? Why it is all about? So what is the difference between hackathon and Syberthon? Why it came into existence? A small advice, a little idea. It's all about innovation. You all guys know this is the era of innovation. And my pet theme, either you innovate or evaporate. This is the dialogue today everywhere. It is common. So friends, under the aegis of Cyber Tricks, it's a cyber wellness center. It's a brainchild of our worthy managing director, Mr. Manbir Singh. So big round of applause for Mr. Manbir. Thank you, sir, for providing us all the resources and motivating us. So I am delighted to announce that City University is organizing Syberthon, it's cybersecurity hackathon, 30-hour marathon coding. It's not easy. On diverse areas of cybersecurity. It's a recognition and honoring the young cybersecurity talent. And City University is known for it. Our flagship program is cybersecurity. But we know Cybersecurity is having diverse fields, right from cyber forensics, network penetration, hacking, reverse engineering, and lot many. So, friends, are you ready for the show? It's a challenging task, daunting task. What is the meaning of hackathon? It's a team building technique. In 30 hours, you'll face a lot of challenges, but you'll come out with a solution to the problems. This is the need of corporate and industry. So, the cohesion between industry and academia. And CT University, it's a leading industry-driven university, leading by example. We are young, only less than 2 years old. It's the first step under the aegis of cyber tricks. And lot many to come. Come September, we are organizing IMARC with a special theme on cyber forensics. Researchers, scientists across the world, they are visiting City University for exchanging and sharing their ideas. So I wish good luck to all the participants, and I would like to congratulate Team Syberthon. Those are working day and night. It's all their zealous input, which is bearing fruits. Thank you very much. Thank you, City University. Thank you, delegates. God bless us all.
Thank you, sir. May I have the honor to call upon the stage Dr. Kala Bhaskar, Director, Center of Cybercrime and Information Security, University of Madras. Dr. Bhaskar has 23 years of experience as scientific officer in the State Forensic Science Department, Tamil Nadu, serving in various departments. Over 7 years of experience in handling cyber forensic cases and have been expert witness in several courts in Tamil Nadu. So, ma'am, please.
Good morning to you all. Yeah. So it's indeed a pleasure. I just first of all would like to thank you for having me at this impressive conference. I have had the pleasure of visiting this university for the first time, and I'm looking forward to collaborate in the future. And there are a lot of good things about the internet or the cyberspace. With the explosive growth of the internet and with the amount of application, the so-called apps, we call them, we can say that it is a technological revolution. We are no longer citizens, we are netizens. And as with every industrial revolution, did crime also come up along with it? So also with this technological revolution, we have new type of crimes, the so-called cyber crimes have evolved. And crime as such is as old as humankind. And this cybercrime being new entrant, it is technical, it's staggering, it's challenging, and it is a major threat to a person, to property, to corporate, to state, to nation, society, and mankind as well. Right now, the topic that is at the forefront of Indian minds, there has been a proliferation of high profile intrusion against organizations and malicious cyber activities which will be associated with every individual, company, state, and nation. The mission of this conference is to arrange a technical event for meeting up the requirements of 21st century and teaching people to safeguard the society and of the cyber platform. And it is also to create usable software or a hardware with the goal of creating functioning of a product by the end of this event. This cyberthon tend to have a specific focus on the cyber, social media, and smartphone issues. The event at this city university under the Cyberbricks Cyber Wellness Center organizing the Hackfest Syberthon. I really appreciate the organizers for having chosen the most appropriate terminology, the Cyber Wellness Center. It's more relevant and with positive energy. I also appreciate the design of the logo, whoever who has designed it. It's my honor to deliver the opening remarks for the day, today's conference, and I'm glad to be at this event that brings together public and private partnership to combat one of the growing threats to our economy and to our personal financial security. Cybersecurity is an issue of a profound importance in today's technology driven world. What was once a problem for IT professionals is now, in fact, for all of us today. I say us because, as you may know, hackers breached a government database a few days ago and stole and exposed personal information of roughly over 6 million customer data, which may include my information as well. We do not know. There's hardly a day that goes by and that we don't hear some of the new cyber attacks. These incidents are clear illustrations of how the internet has become an integral part of our professional and personal lives, and while the benefits have been enormous, so too have the risks. I'm sure you accept by instead of you to explore to join me the conviction that now is the time to act. The incessant and rapid pace of technological development in the cyber arena continues to outstrip our ability to organize ourselves to address threats before they become a major cyber incident. Some of the factors that might have contributed to our slowdown or tepid responses to threat ranging from lack of awareness and to an unrealistic hope that somehow a public private partnership would be miraculously evolved to address the problem and dissipate it. In the Indian scenario, as I know that this audience is more cognizant than most about the cyber threats we face today, but I will spend a few minutes just to make sure that we all have a clear picture of the current scope of the threat, how we are currently postured to address the threat, and where the gaps remain in our approach. I would then like to explore with you some of the thoughts on how the government is and should organize itself to address those gaps. As you can see, much attention has been paid to nation's cybersecurity. As I have already alluded to, there has been no dearth of strategies proposed to address the cyber threat at the national level. Flagging the threat to cyber security globally, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji said, I quote, India can play a leading role in dealing with this bloodless war as he launched a Digital India initiative to which the corporate world supported. He pitched for the digital revolution in the country and exhorted the industry to boost domestic production of electronic devices, which account for second largest imports under the Making India program, highlighting the country's potential in the IT sector. Our Prime Minister called upon the Indian youth, people like you, to innovate and go for the design in India. And he promised the government to support startups and said that India has a potential of becoming the second largest country after USA in this area. We have to move from e-governance to m-governance. That's what he said, and it is functioning right now. So he himself is being a tech savvy, talked about the advantages of IT, but at the same time said Clouds of bloodless war are hovering the world. The world is terrified by this, and India has a big role to play in this. And India has talent, and India can provide a shield to the world by providing innovative and credible solution. We should accept this challenge and ensure that the entire world lives in peace, he said. I just would like to mention certain, initiatives taken by the government of India, and they have instituted some new organizations to combat the cybercrime as well. Yeah. So these are the key initiatives that are undertaken by the Indian government. We have a national cyber security policy. We have a national security coordination center. We have a national critical information infrastructure protection center, cyber swatch kendra, and we have international cooperation in cyber society. We are promoting research and development, which we as young youth like you should explore the opportunity and do research and coming up with some cyber security products to solve these and combat all these cyber attacks that are happening, especially against our country. And also there are initiatives for sectoral and state computer emergency response teams. And we also have security testing because we are living in a world of apps. Unless we secure the app from the development stage, it's going to be a tough time for us while launching all these apps. So, in my experience, one of the most important things that cybersecurity awareness among gen is cybersecurity awareness that should be in general public. That holds good for children and youth as well. They are the users of technology because recently I got a WhatsApp message in which a toddler is shown a mobile phone with all those flashy colors. Okay, if it is being dragged or grabbed from the toddler, it rolls from here to there. It wants technology. Okay, so that is the spirit of the technology, and that is going to have a greater impact on youth and children. So we need to address this cyber security because cyber security is never complete without you. Okay. So considering this, we at the Madras University, we conducted awareness program for children and also for students who are in the colleges. We went there, we at least spoke for 1 hour to them about minimum security that they need to follow because they are totally unaware of what they need to do. They don't have any awareness whether to share their password, what should go in the public, what should be kept private, whether they are enabling any privacy in the, especially in the social media. And similarly for all other organizations, people were thinking it is only for IT sector. No, it is not only for only for people in the IT sector. It is every common man because today everyone uses applications, mobile applications, or for banking transactions, right from your birth certificate till your death certificate, everything is online. We have from e-governance, now we have gone to m-governance. So that is the current scenario. So awareness is the most important thing that should be in our line of sight in the near future. So we conducted awareness program. Over 20,000 students for the past 3 years. They have been trained in minimum security in usage of email or your Windows PC or your mobile applications and things like that, and they were benefited. It is an ongoing program. See, I from the Madras University cannot do it in a single-handed way. So I want to take it at the national level so that everybody can train every other person. So we should go length and breadth of the country, not only in English but also in the local language, so that even the rural people and also the people in the village, they get benefited out of this, because they should not be targeted. Because today, by a single click of the mouse, mass people are using mobile phones or smart apps. Everybody can get affected. In villages, they know only to operate like this. When I press the green button, it is taking a call. When I press the red button, it is stopping a call. That's what they know. But what is beyond that? There are people who are actually sitting in a remote place and using a keylogger so that they can record all the information of their card numbers or PIN numbers or whatever that is, and siphon the money out of them, and even they will be totally unaware. So awareness is very, very important. So I place it in front of you so that you can also take it forward, and training the trainer concept, so that students can be trained. They can go to schools and colleges, and they can spread the knowledge, and they can shine and get themselves prevented from all these kinds of cyber attacks. So I think this awareness program has to be taken forward. So I thank you for this opportunity, and I wish a grand success for this conference as well as the Cyberthon event. I hope that more and more students will participate, come up with some very good solutions to cyber security threats. And I really like the way you have put it in the positive way, that is Cyber Wellness Center. So I wish you success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing the information and knowledge with us. Thank you. Now, may I have the privilege to call on the dais Mr. Prem Oja, Chief Executive Officer at NetPlus Broadband, a business professional with a technical background and a vivid experience of 26 years in managing business and profit centers in telecom, broadband, IT, and OA industry. Sir, please.
Good morning, everybody. We need more exciting mornings than this. Morning, everyone. Good morning. I think your energy is something that keeps us going, and without the youth and their energy, nothing really can be achieved. First of all, thank you very much for having me here. It's a wonderful event, and I must compliment the VC and the MD of the institution and everybody behind this show for organizing such a relevant and a very pertinent area today. Till some time we used to talk about three basic needs. I'm sure everyone knows roti, kapda or makan were the three basic needs. But now there is a fourth basic need, which is broadband. And I have been fortunate to be associated with propagating broadband business in the region for almost 25 years now. I've seen broadband from the day when, not everyone was fortunate enough to access it. And from a narrowband connectivity, 56 kbps, and then going on to, we launched DSL-based high-speed broadband way back in 2003, 2004. And then we launched, fiber-based FTTH services a decade ago. So, things have changed radically. And I think the adoption of broadband also is catching pace. India today has the second largest user base of broadband users. And very soon we'll be number one. In terms of the data that we consume, we are already number one in the world. Today, on an average, close to 200 hours of active internet usage is happening per individual in India. So, which is phenomenal, close to 4 hours now. And as I speak, this duration is increasing. I'm sure the youth is contributing in a big way in terms of using broadband and using, mobile connectivity and internet. Now, when everything is happening in the virtual world, most of the time spent is on the virtual world. I think slowly the focus is moving towards the virtual world. And when that is the magnitude, today we see most of our customers, pay their bills online. It's difficult to remember when last time we went to a bank to make a transaction, or when many of us are relying heavily on ordering food online, or, doing shopping online. So everything is happening online. And therefore, there's a huge opportunity for people who are on the darker side also to explore this transaction. If everyone is on the virtual world, so crime will also happen on the virtual side only. So we are seeing that every day cyber crime is increasing at almost the same pace as the propagation of broadband is happening worldwide and in India. And therefore, this event is very, very relevant. If I talk about the cyber threats, I think there are 7, 8 elements. I'm sure you are aware of some of them. I'll just take you through that. Malware is one way where you can, either through viruses or through Trojan or anything like that, you can actually infect any device. If we look at, the other very popular virus, or I should say cyber crime is concerned, is through the DDoS attacks, where the intention is to actually flood so much of data into any device, or so many transactions in a device, that the performance of the device itself comes to a grinding halt. Then there is something which is called man in the middle, where if we are interacting, suppose we are interacting with our bank on an online transaction. So there is this hacker who is actually residing in between. He is impersonating us when interacting with the bank, and impersonating the bank when interacting with us. So they collecting all the critical data from both the sides and eventually using it to do the crime. Then you have maladvertising, you have phishing, where database of customers or critical information is captured. So these are the various forms through which cyber crime is happening. And I think it's important that we be aware of all these forms, and only when we are aware, we'll be able to safeguard our interest. As far as cyber security goes, I think there are three key principles or pillars, as we call it. One is confidentiality. So confidentiality means all the data that somebody authorized needs to access should get access, but anybody not authorized to access that data should not be able to access it. I think this is a very important area. Every day efforts are being made by unauthorized users to get into a database, to steal the database, to modify the database, and to manipulate the database. So confidentiality is one pillar. The other pillar is of the integrity of data. Now it's important that whatever data is available today, data is getting stored every microsecond in terabytes volume. Now when this data is getting stored typically in cloud or a server farm, it is important that the integrity of that data is maintained. Like ma'am was talking about, records from birth to death is all stored there. Now imagine if data can be manipulated, altered, modified, corrupted, then everything goes haywire. I think our dependence on the virtual world is getting so high that integrity of data is become of prime significance. Now, the third principle of cyber security is on the accessibility. So, which means that whenever we want data, whenever we want to access a server or a information, it should be available. Now, important areas on accessibility side are how disaster recovery is done, how antivirus or other softwares to protect the data is there, what is their upgradation or the current level of security. So all these, and redundancies, of course. So all these things form the total framework of a cyber security. Now we know the devil, which is the form of cyber crimes. We know the principles through which we can do the cyber protection, but how do we actually do it? I think that's a very important area. So it's again a very simple three-step activity. One step is that we identify the threats, the problems on an ongoing basis. Yeah, sure.
I extend a warm and hearty welcome to great personality, our chief guest of the day, none other than Shri Naunihal Singh, IPS, Inspector General of Police at Government of India. Welcome, sir. I welcome Chairman Sir and Vice Chairman Sir, CT University among us. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. So we spoke about the security threats, and we spoke about the principles for managing or containing cyber threats. Now, how do we actually do it? So for every individual, every organization, I think awareness is one big element we spoke about. Today, users are growing at a very, very brisk pace, but awareness about the pros and cons of being on the virtual world is not known to everybody. So I think programs like these and so many of them have to happen right up to the grassroots level, so that everyone is aware of the menace of these cyber crimes which are increasing by the day. Another important thing is for typically for corporates, governments, which actually would be very vulnerable going forward, is to assess how vulnerable their system is, to find out the gap areas where cyber crime can happen. And once you identify the vulnerability, the other important part is to identify the current threats. What are the new viruses or what are the new threats that are coming, and immediately respond to these threats. I think there is a term called risk analysis, which is actually worked out from vulnerability into the threats. So if we know our vulnerability and we know what are the threats around, I think we'll know what is our risk level. And I think we can formulate our strategy to counter cyber crimes. So I think these are the basic three steps. But more importantly, a lot of information sharing across all the virtual world users is something which is the need of the hour, and a lot of information dissemination on the pros and cons is something that we need to get into to make this world a much safer world and a more progressive world. And this is how all the positives of technology, innovation, connectivity can be enjoyed without the risk of having any cyber crime or cyber threat for us. So this is what I wanted to share with all of you. Thank you so much. All the best. God bless you all.
Thank you, sir. May I now have honor to call upon stage Mr. Mahesh Balakrishnan, Information Security Consultant, Chennai. He has 18 years of diversified experience managing large-scale transformation programs and projects. He is experienced in IT governance, risk management, information security, information systems, auditing, and program management. Please, sir.
Good morning, all. Thank you. I come from the industry, so I'm less informal. Thank you for having me here. I do really appreciate the august audience here. The reason why I say that is, I just want to ask you one question to start this. Can you name a word with C? C. I know it's a keynote address, but let me just have it for the fun. Just let me have a word with C. Anyone, C. The alphabet C. Wow. Cyber, anyone? Cloud, okay, good. Cat, okay. You know what? Can I tell the answer? C, CT University. Right? Absolutely, they have brought all of us here for this presence. I'll tell you what. I have been to many podiums talking about information security, cyber security. At the end of the day, right, it all boils down to, as to what Madam said, thank you, borrowing from Prem's words, right, awareness, right? Let me tell you a small example. I'm traveling with an organizational, a friend, a colleague, right, in an elevator. I'm traveling with him from floor number 30 to floor number 40, right? There is a third party along with me inside the elevator. So I'm talking to him about some organizational information, right? Now tell me, is this information security or cyber security? Please do understand the difference between information security and cyber security. I want to point it out. I am traveling in an elevator, right? I'm talking about the organization's information to a colleague of mine, but a third-party vendor is traveling along with us in the elevator. I'm talking to him about the organization's information. Yes, sir.
Information security.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it. I'll tell you what, please do understand the difference between information security and cyber security, right? As to what Sir suggested, it is absolutely information security. Let me tell you this. Why? Is cyber security part of information security or information security part of cyber security? Let me put it this way. In the industry, people use this interchangeably, and whenever I hear this, I really get pissed off. I don't know why, but they need to understand what they are saying. So, cyber security is a part of information security. My information in an elevator can be outside the realm of cyber security. Cyber, you're talking everything connected, network. As to what Prem suggested, there are 3 elements to information security. Let me add the 4th and the 5th element if I could, right from my experience. We talk about confidentiality, integrity, availability. Yeah, these are the 3 triangles of information security. You breathe, you sleep, right? Let me add the 4th and the 5th dimension to it. Reliability. Okay, reliability is one thing which we need to add. What information, if I provide to the senior management, to the senior government officers, if I provide the information correctly, they can take informed decisions. So it has to be reliable as well, right? Yes, it is confidential. The data's integrity is maintained. It should also be reliable. Of course, you all know about non-repudiation as well, right? So, technology. Let me also ask you one important question. I'm learning from you, okay? I keep my eyes and ears open. I learn from you as well. So please, okay? Doesn't mean that, I have spent so much of time in the industry, but I keep learning. Why do we always focus on cybersecurity is one of the things which I always say. Because we are connected. We are connected, right? By the time I'm introduced as to what Madam prepared this morning, by the time I have been in the stage, you guys would have fiddled on your mobile phones, right? Taking a look at what is today's core or what is today's markets or what is the speaker's background information. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong, right? So having said that, we are interconnected. We are interconnected. One important area which I would want to focus for you from a cybersecurity side is know what you protect. If you don't know what you are protecting, you will not be able to protect at all. Meaning, you need to know your assets. Is information an asset? Is information an asset? Absolutely, information is an asset. I need to know from, say for instance, let me take your university as well. In this room, right? Which is the most guarded thing you guys will do, right? Which is the important asset to you in this room? Maybe the laptops, right? Maybe the LAN, maybe the board. Which one would you protect first? Sorry? Thank you. Humans, right? Humans. Why? We are doing it. Thank you, sir. Cyber Wellness Center. I've never heard about it in my experience with any other industry. Wellness Center. When I say wellness center, we always kind of harp about it. People, process, technology, operations. What is the first one? People, right? Cyber Wellness Center. What is coming inside? People. So what happens is the human aspect of your information security is pretty important, right? Yeah, technology is not a panacea for everything, right? You guys would be very good at VAPTs, some testing and everything, but at the end of the day, this is what I go and tell the organizations. Two important things which I earn my big bucks on. One is teaching soft skills. Two, enterprise risk management. Okay, as to what, if I can borrow from Crane's words, right? Risk management. Can I eliminate all the risks? Absolutely not. So what should you do? You should know what the risks are, what the threats are, what the vulnerabilities are. You document it, right? And then take action about it. So in a nutshell, I would want to tell you, know what you're protecting. If you don't know what you're protecting, there are two things. Either you're over-protecting. Would I go ahead and protect with a fence for this device? Absolutely not. A control which I would go ahead and do only for this one. So having said that, know what you're protecting, right? Your risk management is an important aspect of your cybersecurity. Humans are very important for your cybersecurity strategy as well. Now, as to what doctor said, train the trainer approach. We can't do everything, right? As to what our distinguished chief guest is here, right? One of the important problems he faces is probably in his department is, there might be n number of calls. Sir, I lost this information. How do I go about doing it? Okay, getting it back, right? So what we thought from the industry and from the academy is we would want to bridge that gap of not knowing it. This is what I tell. Knowing what you have is half the problem. Solved, right? And then, you know what the problem is, right? So go ahead and solve it. How many people are there, without knowing what the problem is? So you know what the problem is, solve it, right? Here comes the solution. So please understand from that angle where we have to bridge the gap between your academic side, right? And if I could borrow from your VC's words this morning when I had an interaction, I said, sir, they should be employable. He said, right? He said, in my words, it is be skillable, right? So I told him, be skillable to be employable. We want you to be awareness champions. You go ahead and talk to the people. We would want to train the trainer approach. I can go ahead and bore you with slides, actually, some numbers, scare you with everything, right? I'll do that later. Okay, maybe in the afternoon. When you're trying to sleep, I'll bore you with that, right? But not right now. But I would just want you to think two important things. Know what you protect, think about risk, right? Yes, the rest of the things will go ahead and follow, right? So, as I said, to me, I thought I should wake you up, right? If you were in your sleep, by asking the question C, to me it was CT University. Can Can you be, are you champions? Are you champions? Are you champions? Yes. You cannot say no, right? You can't say no, right? Champions of what? Champions of what? Cyber security, information security. We can go ahead and do in a limited way, right? But we would want you to take the torch and go ahead and provide it to your colleagues. Start from your parents, right? Start from your parents, start from your friends, family, right? And then go ahead, do what you can, what you do best, right? Talk. How many of you were in Facebook this morning? Nobody? Everyone, right? See, I'll talk about Facebook this evening when I talk about cloud computing. Three important things which I would want to set the tone this afternoon for the workshop is I'm going to talk about cloud computing, right? The name of the essence going forward in the industry. Prem was talking about network, right? But we would want to host the services, the applications in the cloud. So what happens in the cloud? Oh, when I talk to one of my clients, he says, Mahesh, I don't own any network. So why are you talking to me about networking controls? I don't know any protocols. I don't want to hire anybody from the networking side. Everything is in the cloud. One important question which you will have to answer going forward is where is my data and how is my data protected? If you can't answer the questions, believe me, you will be left behind, right? Please, you will have to answer those two questions going forward. Information is money. Information is an asset. If you don't protect it, if you don't know what you're protecting, you will never protect it. So thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate it really was a great pleasure coming here and attending this. I thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And the most awaited moment of the day is listening to the very valuable thoughts from Shri Nonihal Singh, IPS Inspector General of Police at Government of India. He joined IPS in 1997 in Punjab Cadre. He has served as SSP of 9 districts of Punjab and also 3 years term in Chandigarh. He has been awarded with the President's Police Medal for Meritorious Service. Currently, he is posted as IG Cyber Cell Punjab. So please.
Good morning, everyone. Let me begin by apologies. I got delayed because of the poor weather, and I'm sorry if it caused any kind of inconvenience or delay, but I'm glad that I could be here. And it's a very interesting thing that I'm here to see what you youngsters are doing. The lady here was introducing me. Does everybody here understand Hindi as well, or would you like me to stick to English itself? Hindi तो मैंने पंजाबी में चंगी लग रही है, but I was asking. Are you okay? Are you okay with Hindi?
Absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. Probably I'll ask for the translation a bit later. That's absolutely fine.
Perfectly fine. No, what I'll be doing is I'll be doing a bit of English, bit of Punjabi and Hindi. The idea is to communicate effectively. The idea is not about language. आप लोगों के लिए जो इम्पोर्टेंट बात जानने के लिए वो ये है कि I'm a police officer and presently one of the responsibilities जो मैं देख रहा हूँ that is cyber crime. I also happen to be currently looking after the law and order at Jalandhar range and hence our association with CT. When I came to cybercrime is something which deals with the disease or malfeasance which comes in the cyber world. Anything which will have value, anything which will be rapidly growing will have its negative side. Udaj, Bamariyan, Beyond, it's like a virus. It may be ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਡਿਵੈਲਪ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੋਏ consciously unconsciously problems are coming and we deal with that. The interesting thing is PGI ਬਾਰੇ ਕਿਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ PGI ਚੰਡੀਗੜ੍ਹ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ PGI ਹੈ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਅਸੀਂ PGI is very interesting. What does PGI do? PGI ਵਿੱਚ ਰਿਸਰਚ ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, PGI ਵਿੱਚ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਵੀ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ, ਉੱਥੇ ਦਵਾਈਆਂ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਸ਼ੋਧ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਇਲਾਜ ਵੀ ਕੱਢਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ। ਅਨਫੋਰਚੂਨੇਟਲੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਈਬਰ ਵਰਲਡ ਬਣ ਗਿਆ ਹੈਗਾ ਇਹਦੇ ਚ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਗੈਪ ਆ ਗਿਆ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਜਿਹਨੇ ਸਰਜਰੀ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ, ਆਈ ਐਮ ਸਪੋਜ਼ ਟੂ ਵੀ ਸਰਜਰੀ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ, ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰੀ ਸੈੱਟ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਟਿਊਮਰ ਕੱਢਣਾ, ਬੰਦਾ ਫੜਨਾ, ਉਹਦਾ ਉਸ ਹਸਪੀਟਲ ਨਾਲ ਕੋਈ ਲੈਣ ਦੇਣ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਉਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਤਿਆਰ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਵਾਟ ਇਜ਼ ਹੈਪਨਿੰਗ ਇਜ਼ whatever these institutions of learning are doing, whatever the commerce part of it is doing, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੰਪਨੀਆਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ and ਜੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਰਿਸਰਚ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਨਾ ਤਿੰਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਤਾਲਮੇਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੈਠਦਾ। So what is happening is ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਬੰਦਾ ਉਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਜਦ ਤੱਕ when he's already been victimized, a virus has come, it has created havoc, ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ। We have to start learning from the scratch. ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀ ਸਮਝਣੀ ਪੈਣੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਪੋਜ਼ ਫੋਨ ਲੈ ਲਓ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ, ਕਿ ਇਹ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਗਈ ਹੈਗੀ, ਦੈਨ ਇਸ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਬ੍ਰੀਚ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ, ਦੈਨ ਇਹਦੇ ਕਨਸੀਕੁਐਂਸਸ ਕੀ, ਰੋਕਣਾ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਐਂਡ ਟ੍ਰੇਸ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਕਰਨਾ। ਵੀ ਫੇਸ ਅ ਲੋਟ ਆਫ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਐਂਡ ਦ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਇਜ਼ ਨਾਓ ਕਿ ਪ੍ਰੈਕਟੀਕਲੀ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਪੁੱਛ ਰਹੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਬਾਲਾਕ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਨ ਵਾਸ ਆਸਕਿੰਗ ਕਿ ਚੈਂਪੀਅਨਸ, ਮੇਰਾ ਜਵਾਬ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਪੁੱਛ ਰਹੇ ਸੀਟੀ ਸੀ ਕੀ ਹੈਗਾ, ਸੀਟੀ ਤੇ ਯੂ ਆਰ ਚੈਂਪੀਅਨਸ ਆਫ WhatsApp ਜਾਂ Facebook ਤੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਚੈਂਪੀਅਨ ਬੈਠੇ, ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਬੈਠਾ Facebook ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਬੈਠਾ WhatsApp ਤੇ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ। The point is our lives have gone digital. Asi cyber world has become an integral part of our life. ਆਪਾਂ ਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, but unfortunately ਜੋ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਉੱਥੇ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ, ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਉਸ environment ਦਾ ਉਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੋਟੈਕਟ ਕਰ ਸਕੇ। And that is what my biggest challenge is, and that is why the reason I am here today. Unless we have an ecosystem where we collaborate, where from the very beginning, ਜਿੱਥੋਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਕੋਡ ਲਿਖਦੇ ਹੈ to the companies which are doing it, we coordinate and we work very closely, ਸਾਡੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਗੈਪ ਰਹਿ ਜਾਣਗੇ। You will not be able to learn from our experience, we will not be able to learn from your technological developments, and these problems are being faced time and again. Wherever it comes to push comes to a shove, crunch aanda hai, problem aandi hai, we do not have a solution. So anyhow, the entire idea was to come here was to ensure that we heartily endorse this initiative. It's an excellent initiative. Number two, I, as an officer who's in charge of cybersecurity, am here to look at all the good ideas that you are going to bring up, how you are going to approach different challenges. ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਕੀ approach ਹੋਏਗਾ, ਨਵੀਂ idea ਕੀ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਓਗੇ, and I'm also looking for some very young resource persons or valuable resource persons ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਟਾਈਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਸ cyber field ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ, ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ different companies ਨਾਲ collaborate ਕਰਨ। I'm very thankful to the CT group for giving me this opportunity. This is a wonderful occasion, wonderful opportunity. We must have more and more of these. And you are brilliant people, and we are relying on you to lead us. Sanu idea do, wo tarike do, taaki se cyber world mein more secure kar sake. Thank you once again. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your valuable views with us. Now I request Chairman Sir Sardar Charanjit Singh Channi, MD Sir Mr. Manbir Singh, VC Sir Dr. Harsh Sadavati to honor our chief guest Shri Naunihal Singh. So please. I request to honor our guest, Dr. Kala Bhaskar. Ma'am, please. Team sir, Darwal sir, please come on the stage. Sir, please. Now request to honor Mr. Mahesh Balakrishnan sir. Sir, please. I request to honor Mr. Prem Oja. Sir, please. I thank everyone for the patience hearing and being a good audience. Now I request the participants, only the participants, to move to the event venue. And rest, please be seated. Hackathon participants only. The workshop participants, please be seated. Nobody will leave the room, please.
Workshop will be started over here. You have to sit here, right? On Syberthon में जिन्होंने participate किया, they have to go to C block first floor, right? यहाँ से अभी तो 12
Yeah. I'm not here.
बेटा जब आपकी ड्यूटी लगी हुई है ना डिसिप्लिन में तो फोन वोन साइड पे रखिए ना डिसिप्लिन पे ध्यान दीजिए आप खुद भी जो है डिसिप्लिन खराब कर रहे
ये अपना सामने वाले
Students, eatables are not allowed here. Eatables are not allowed. ठीक है, मैं फोन दोबारा कह रहे हैं, अगर बाद में पकड़ा गया वार्निंग होगी होएगी ना तो फाइन मैडम प्लीज. Eatables are not allowed.
If you want to eat something, go out.
और खा के आ जाओ, कोई गल नहीं है, बट इतने अलाउड नहीं है, ठीक है.
Don't do like this. Please maintain decorum. आप बैठ जाइए. नहीं, no issues, sir. आप बैठ जाइए.